My name is Ian Walsh, and today is Masters of the Market. We've been joined all week with Josh Hertz from Helpful Home Buyers. Josh, again, thanks for coming on. I appreciate you spending some time with me. I always like spending time with Josh. He's a really easygoing guy, and as I always say, he's like under the radar. It's like he does a ton of business in the city, but he's like catching a coyote. It's really hard to find him, but when you get him, he's on board to help. So I really want to sit down and pick his brain today because I thought everybody would benefit watching this, and I think anybody that's doing deals in South Philly that doesn't know him needs to know Josh for sure. Now, Josh's background, we got into the business around the same time, both him and I, and we were figuring our way through it, and we used to wholesale a lot. We'd wholesale some deals to Josh, and then all of a sudden, Josh's business just took off to another level. And Josh, I think on average, this year you'll probably do roughly 160 transactions yourself alone. 20, 30 flips, 130, 40 wholesale deals. It's a lot of volume, and a lot of people that, have not heard his name should know it if you're trying to do real business in the city. So what I wanted to talk about today, Josh, was how did you go from where both of us were maybe 10 years ago to all of a sudden within 2 or 3 years you went from, figuring your way through this to one of the best, one of the best in the business in this city at what you do.
Okay.
How do we get there?
So it starts off you by yourself, and you really got to have a big hustle in your heart. You got to give it everything you have. You gotta learn. You got to be a sponge. You got to suck up everything you can while you're learning, and then you got to take action on what you learn. So for me, I did that for 5 to 7 years, and I got really good at it. And then I got to a point where I was getting a little tired, and I was kind of at a crossroads where do I want to continue the way I'm doing business, and I had a pretty good footing and I knew what to expect, or do I want to turn this into more of a business that I can scale and create a team around me to basically to do more, it's like almost doing more and doing less at the same time. So I decided to go that way. I had some reserves in the beginning because, I knew business. I knew how to buy for $1 and sell for $2, but I didn't always know how to scale a business. So I put a lot of time into learning, just like I did in the beginning, learning how to make money in real estate. The next thing I studied was how to scale a business. And basically, it all comes down to leverage. Whether you're leveraging money, you're leveraging employees, you're leveraging time. You're looking to accomplish more, because we all have 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year, and there's only so much one person can accomplish. So leverage is what takes you from what you can accomplish to what you can accomplish with tools of money, people, processes, systems. So I became a student to that and started building from there.
Good. So the bottom line, it's interesting. A lot of the guys that I've talked with on this series have talked about, and it is the most important thing, is the non-renewable resource of time, right? Everybody's got the same amount on a daily basis, which is a really good point. And you're either linear with that, as in moving through, I can do one-to-one activity, or I can leverage that, whether it's, like you said, employees or finding ways to be more efficient to get more done in a period of time. I was thinking, this is kind of a little bit different than what we normally talk about, but we're in like a really special age in terms of compared to maybe our parents or something. Like at one point, you had to pick up a phone, a landline, and hope the other guy was going to be on the other line. And now we're at a time where you can email a million people with the click of a button. I mean, that's leverage, right?
Yeah.
So that kind of stuff is really important to take sight of. And you obviously were probably operating more linear up until you made that decision to make that move. Was there something that was like a pivotal moment, pivotal moment for you that said, okay, time to leverage around me. I have the skill set. How do I leverage that skill set?
Yeah, so there was a pivotal moment for me, and it came from within, from me getting tired of kind of going full speed, way too many hours a day, way too many days a week for year after year. So it got me to where I was. And then from there, I wanted to make a business out of it. I didn't know how. So just like me and Ian were talking about a little while ago about surrounding yourself with the right people in a different sense, that's kind of what I did to leverage my business to what I have now. So the first thing I had to do was accomplish the mindset it was possible. And then learn from others who successfully did what I was trying to do. So, if I want to learn how to play basketball, I'm going to talk to Michael Jordan. But if I want to learn how to cook burgers, I'm not going to talk to Michael Jordan. So I basically went after people who I thought had successfully accomplished where I was looking to take my business, surrounded myself with them. And then from there, you don't have to reinvent the wheel. You get a lot of good ideas, and then you have to tweak them for your business and execute. But like I said, you don't have to reinvent the wheel. You get a lot of good building blocks that you can build off of and then custom tailor for your situation.
So it's really interesting you say that, because I bump into a lot of people sometimes that find this urge inside to reinvent the wheel. And I think it comes back to that one question, which is, why are you in business? Why are you in real estate, right? It's to make money. So you either want to be a hero by trying to reinvent the wheel internally, whether you think you're there to make money or not, or you did exactly what you said. Your focus was money on the end. You want to do more transactions. I'm going to go find the most efficient way to make money. And it's like any of us. I don't want to reinvent the wheel. I don't want to have to think of it if I can already go somewhere and get that answer, right? So you went and you sought out the answers, and then you already had the skill set. You just had to find the right mindset to apply it and go for it. So a lot of people, I think, you see that a lot in real estate. A lot of people act like, they want to be a hero in their own world. They make their life more difficult because they don't realize they're not actually chasing money. They're trying to be the hero of solving a problem that's already been solved somewhere, right? There's not too much we come across in this game anymore that hasn't already been done.
Right.
So I'm not the next Elon Musk. I don't think you are. So let's not try to be that guy. We're here for money. And maybe if you are trying to be Elon Musk, it's a totally different conversation. But, the people watching this should be here for money, not to reinvent the wheel. So go out and seek people around you. And if you want to be really, I would imagine, I know this answer too, because I've done the same. You surround yourself with people that have gotten it done, but you've got to be very specific to who you surround yourself with, right? Because if you're not careful with your radar of success, you could step in front of the wrong person and get derailed pretty heavily. So you obviously found some of the right people. People are going to want to know, how did you go and find those kind of people? How did you figure out who you wanted to learn from versus who you wanted to turn the noise away from?
So what I did, I kind of started researching it online. And what I realized once I started doing my research online was, Philadelphia is a big city. There's a lot going on. But specific to what I do is looking to scale rehabbing and wholesaling. There wasn't a community to I didn't feel like there was a good community to get involved with where I could look to take my business to the next level. So I kind of went more on a national search, and then surrounded my people on a national level where I was around like-minded people, and we were all looking to grow in the same direction.
And it worked out. You found the right people, and you were able to digest that noise and say, hey, this guy's for me. This guy I have something to pull from. This guy I don't. It's pretty clear. Okay. So let's talk about some of the, that's actually some really in-depth stuff, especially if people trying to scale their business. Because a lot of this information, when you're starting to learn right now and you're trying to figure out how to wholesale a deal or you're trying to figure out how to flip, might not be pertinent. So maybe you watch this video in 2 years from now after you've gone through the grind of understanding and learning the business, or maybe you can skip all that, which is the ideal situation to get to this point. But a lot of it is found out through experience. So let's jump to 2 years and say, okay, now we're scaling a business, because really that's what you're running. You're running a business. You're not, people say, I want to do real estate. It's a funny term that you hear sometimes, because it's well, what does that mean? It really means that the widget we have in front of us is houses. We just figure out how to turn the widget in a production line efficiently, and now we have our real estate business, right?
Right.
So how, and I know you run a very good business, what are some of the major components? Is it the people? Is it the leverage of time? Is it the way you run the operations? How does internally, do you find the most success out of what you're doing in your business?
So early on, it came from really just mastering the market, giving it everything you had, taking action, and that got me so far. But now that we're talking about leverage, the number one indicator or key to success for me when I'm running a business with a lot of employees is the individual that I have under me. So I want to surround myself with talented people. So talented people still need direction and training and guidance, but they know how to think, they know how to hustle, and they know how to get stuff done. So right now I have about 23 people on my team. And if those 23 people are all superstars, my business is going to do so much better than if those people were just average. And on the flip side, if those 23 people were, let's say, less than average, I'm probably going to be losing money in my business. And if they're average, that might be the difference between floundering around breaking even. But when you elevate to someone who's an 8 out of a 10, a 9 out of a 10, and a 10 out of a 10, you look at those as like little changes that don't mean much, but I can tell you, having 23 people on your team that are an 8 out of 10 versus 23 people on your team that are a 10 out of 10, the difference of profit that you put in your pocket at the end of the day is going to be huge.
I like that answer. I was kind of hoping that was the answer that you were going to give, because that was, I've learned over the businesses that we've dealt with and so forth, whatever you do, when you have that talent in front of you, your people are your business. They really are, because I found that talent, it needs a little steering, a little training, but the talent will take over. It always takes over. You give just a little bit of guidance, a little bit of direction, and a talented person that's highly driven and operationally sound and so forth will just take the ball and run with it. Whereas somebody that's not, you're trying to squeeze blood from a stone all day, and that whole concept of leverage goes right out the door, right? Because you're deleveraging your time at that point.
It's brain damage.
It's brain damage. It's counteractive. So spend the time to find the right talent, and then harness it and let it kind of grow on its own too. I found. I don't know if you find this, but I always say I don't have all the answers. I can usually steer you in a pretty good direction if I have an idea, but a lot of times it's the talent of the person that you're giving the information to that can then bring it in the direction that you didn't even expect.
Right.
I don't know if you find that internally.
Absolutely. It's we're talking about. I call people that can think. People know how to think and come up with answers to problems, and maybe it's right, maybe it's not, but if it's not, they think again and they get it done instead of the alternative, which is do nothing or ask for help, or we don't mind helping, but at the same time we want people that know how to think and bring solutions and are confident and comfortable with that.
I like it. Josh, if I'm new to this business, or no, let's say I'm not new. Let's say I've been doing wholesale deals and I'm going to scale. What one piece of advice would you give me from where you stand? If you look back and say, this is the piece of advice I would give this person to scale their business, to take it to the next level, what transitional point would you say to them?
So I have, I talk to people here and then throughout the years, and I feel like a common rut people get caught in is they're doing their 1 or 2 deals a month or 1 deal every other month, and they're asking me, how do I do more deals? And really, if you know business and know how to do this business, the easiest thing is to do more marketing. So if I ask someone that consistently does 1 deal a month, how much marketing are you doing? And they say, we're doing 1,500 postcards or letters a month, and it gets them 1 deal. Well, if you do 3,000 a month, you can probably get 2 deals. So that takes you so far. Then once you grow past your own capacity, the next thing is like your first hire. So you have to take something off of your plate that you're doing in the business in order to grow to the next level. So you could do it as in, one easy way to do it is what you don't like doing the most, or maybe what you're not the best at, because we're not all good at everything. So you could say what you don't like or what your skill set isn't the best at, and take that position with tasks off of your plate and give that to someone else to do. And once you're, like I said, once you're averaging your 2 or 3 deals a month, then financially, hopefully you can afford to pass that off, and then you grow from there. Once that person's comfortable and they're not taking all of your time to efficiently do that position, then you consider maybe doing that for the next group of tasks or next position that you want to get off of your plate.
So scale, but scale in a measured manner. Because I've seen scaling too fast too. That gets tricky. It's a balancing act, right? So
yeah, absolutely.
So everybody watching this, what I want to make sure is that if you're in the South Philly market or any market and need to move a deal, you need to reach out to Josh. His contact information is jhertz, JHERTZ, at helpful, the word helpful, HB, as in homebuyers, helpfulhb.com. So jhertz at helpfulhb.com. If you have a deal, send it his way. This man knows the market, especially in South Philly. And as you know, I'm Ian Walsh with Hard Money Bankers, and you can find me on Facebook. Josh, appreciate you coming on today. Appreciate you doing this with me.
Thanks for having me.
And we'll go from there.